Ask a question.
Okay. Okay. Are you shadows?
Yes.
Are shadows the same as Lyra's dust?
Yes.
And is dust dark matter?
Yes.
So dark matter is conscious?
Evidently.
The mind that's answering these questions. It isn't human, is it?
No. But humans have always known us.
Is there more than one of you?
Uncountable billions.
What are you?
Angels.
Angels?
Yes.
Angels are creatures made up of shadow matter of dust.
Yes.
And shadow matter is what we call spirit.
From what we are, spirit. From what we do, matter. Matter and spirit are one.
You've always been there.
Making, stimulating, guiding.
So does that mean angels have intervened in human evolution?
Yes.
But why?
Vengeance.
It's all been wrong.
Now will make all the sense in the world because it's happening right now. We're into season 4 of Fringe, and it's all about what happens when the two universes collide. And it all crosses over the two universes in a specific town. And this town is all about the mixing of dark spirits with humanity in the last days. There was actually a TV series that came out called From that had the same concept of a town that was stuck between places that no one could leave the town. Well, this episode we're going to watch next is much like that same concept, the same theme. And this episode details how they are trying to shape humanity. Shape humanity with injections, the water, and the skies above. First, we hear a mention of the Spanish flu of 1919, 91 years ago from the airing of this episode. 1919 and 91, those are mirror numbers, 19 and 91. Watch.
The Spanish flu, isn't that extinct?
Well, the last recorded epidemic was in 1919, which makes him a minimum of 91 years old.
So there you just heard it. Of course, they were pointing forward to COVID-19, right? Because there's just way too many 19s in 1919 and 91 years ago, right? This episode aired in 2012, this particular episode.
There was no match on the DNA, but she did find antibodies for the Spanish flu.
So this is all about DNA and the Spanish flu, and also our DNA interacting with machines. In other words, transhumanism. And this is exactly what Elon Musk is claiming that he achieved now in our timeline. He's saying he's able to make a human move a mouse with their mind. Well, watch this.
I'm going to assign you a security detail.
So you're able to control the machine with your thoughts through this?
That's how I was able to do it back in my timeline. Just watch.
So, at this point, we're into another episode, and the Fringe team descends on this town. The town, as I said earlier, is stuck between worlds. And here's where things go off the rails. Watch this. He opens her mouth and she has double rows of teeth. As he's examining this woman from this town who is stuck between worlds. Now, hallmark of the Nephilim bloodline, we already know from what the Bible says that they have 6 fingers and 6 toes. That's mentioned in the Old Testament. And it's weird because the 6 fingers is actually shown prominently in the French TV series. They have these little intermissions with these little graphics in between scenes sometimes. And one of them is a graphic of a 6-fingered hand. But in addition to the 6 fingers and 6 toes, ancient lore says that some of these Nephilim had double rows of teeth. Watch.
You hear about our air quality. The air quality's bad here, isn't it?
So, you heard the part about the air quality. So there's something about the air, and this is what's causing this merging between worlds, in my opinion. And this is one of the components of it. Air, water, it's a multifaceted attack and injections.
There? Fascinating.
Look at the blue-blooded spider. This is more proof of what's going on. You can always tell what's going on because of what's in the scenes. Because the devil's in the details, isn't it? So, they're in a classroom, obviously, and there's a big blue-blooded spider hanging from the ceiling. Because this is all about the merging of the 2 seed lines, the blue bloodline.
The cook at the diner had 2 irises in each eye.
Now, this is the woman, and she ends up dying, and she's stuck between 2 worlds, the past and present. And they have 2 pupils as they begin to get to the end stages of this being stuck between these 2 worlds. And there you see her irises are essentially eclipses. It's the 2 pupils converging on one another. Now, Walter begins to figure out what's going on, and he draws this out on a chalkboard. The Vesica Pisces. Now, we've been talking about the Vesica Pisces, and a lot of other people do too, but the Vesica Pisces as it relates to an eclipse, which is what an eclipse visually looks like, right? A Vesica Pisces. That's kind of a relatively novel concept because you're talking about a portal and the merging of 2 worlds.
Whatever is afflicting these people is creating some sort of rapid mitosis, causing the cells to replicate exponentially, duplicating body parts.
So he's talking about this mitosis, duplication, cloning, Gemini. There's a million words to describe what's happening here.
It's the genetic material that should appear in any human being. When I examined Teresa's blood, I found 92 chromosomes.
And he's seeing that there's actually double the amount of chromosomes, okay? So this goes to the numbers 23, 46 chromosomes, and now he's saying 90, what did he say, 92?
No DNA.
Then he draws it out on a chalkboard. The 2 worlds merging.
Represent the respective universes. And this overlap is the town, trapping the 3 of us. The overlap.
So they're trapped in the overlap. Then he mentions doppelgangers.
Gravity, electromagnetic
So,
fields.
Walter, what you're saying is the 2 universes merged together somehow.
Yeah. Now, for reasons that I am yet to deduce, our Westfield has merged with the Westfield from the alternate universe.
Okay, well, how can 2 universes merging drive an entire town insane?
So the town is called Westfield, and it kind of, to me, sounds like Westworld, okay? And it's a spiritual merging between the spiritual world, the dark spiritual world, and our physical reality. I think what these people are getting at and what they're attempting to do.
Maybe the same thing that's happening to the town is happening to the town's people. They're merging with their doppelganger.
I mean, can you imagine being flooded with years of experiences and memories that were not your own? Which would explain why Teresa thought her husband was alive and dead at the same time.
Now, we know that the phenomenon affects electronics.
Now, at this point, they're trying to escape from the town, but they can't. And so here we get a mention of the electric vehicle psyop, getting everyone into electric cars. Why? So eventually they can just send out a pulse or turn off the grid and disable everyone's cars. Now, they don't even need to do that in order to disable an electric vehicle. You don't even need an EMP to do that because they have the ability to turn them off remotely. And this is the whole purpose of 5G. The whole purpose of 5G was to shore up the network so that they could have increased capabilities. And they say it's for driverless cars. Yes, that's true. But also they have the ability to turn the car off. They didn't always have that ability with weaker network system with 3G and 4G. Nor did they have the ability to, allow for driverless cars. They needed the 5G system. It was the step that they needed in place to be able to control, essentially, your electric vehicle in many ways, not just to drive it by itself, but also to turn it off when they want to. And we know this happens if you don't pay your lease on your electric vehicle, they turn it off. So you don't even really need an EMP. An EMP would do it, and they could blame it on an EMP. They could say, oh, Russia attacked us with an EMP and all the cars got turned off. But really, they could simply just send out a signal from the manufacturer and turn the cars off, and blame it on an EMP, right? Now, at this point, Walter finds what I say is the eye of the storm, the exact center of the merged worlds in this town. And there's a specific store that it appears in. Watch.
So any fuel-injected engines won't work. But we're working on it. We're going to need vehicles to transport us there. We need older cars, any running models from the 1970s, 2, maybe 3, to transport everyone safely.
What are you doing? Come on, get inside.
So there's Walter, and where's the center of the storm? In a bike shop.
Peter, you're right. This is it. This is the eye of the storm. Great.
In the bike shop. Now, we've looked at the bicycle as a symbol, an occult symbol, because it appears everywhere, doesn't it? The bicycle is the two merging worlds. You could look at this as the two seeds. See the serpent seed of the woman. You could look at this as the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So two trees. You could look at this as it's the duality system. And so it makes sense that the center of it in the episode would be in a bike shop. Now, we saw this bike symbolism in the movie Inception. We also saw it in Terminator 2 as John Connor was on the bicycle with the Terminator. We broke that down as well. It's all about the two worlds colliding. It's about the pit, opening the pit, the spirit world and the physical world. Now, when all this happens, when all this goes down, this is when we will begin to see things that humans have not really seen before, at least in our history. Okay? And this is when the Bible says men's hearts will fail them from fear. They'll become so afraid their hearts will literally stop for the things that are coming upon the earth. And some people won't be able to handle it. Some people won't be able to handle it. Now, you also get kind of an as above, so below, I guess, here in the sprocket design. And that's another indication or clue about the two worlds merging. So you have a triangle and then kind of an inverted triangle design inside the sprocket of the wheel.
Hello, I'm Matt Galloway, and this is the Current Podcast. You know, it sounds like something, maybe an episode of Star Trek. A group of scientists is calling for a halt in research that could lead to something called mirror life. Those scientists worry that the synthetic organisms that create these mirror molecules in this field of research could present an unprecedented risk to all life on Earth. That sounds rather serious. Kate Adamala is one of the scientists. She's a synthetic biologist, founder of the Build a Cell Initiative, and genetics professor at the University of Minnesota. She's in Minneapolis. Kate, good morning.
Good morning.
Let's start with the basics. What do you do? What is a synthetic biologist?
Synthetic biologist is someone who makes things out of biology that biology doesn't naturally do. And we do that so we can expand the diversity of what we can get out of biology. Better medicine, better drugs, better ways of making molecules, basically making anything that a natural biology didn't think of doing.
And so the mRNA vaccine during the COVID pandemic is an example of that, right?
Yes, that's one of our poster child examples of a successful synthetic biology project.
Okay.
Basically making anything that a natural biology didn't think of doing.
And so the mRNA vaccine during the COVID pandemic is an example of that, right?
Yes, that's one of our poster child examples of a successful synthetic biology project.
Okay. So now that we understand that, what is mirror life?
Mirror life is the idea that you could make a cell that looks exactly like a normal bacteria cell, but all molecules in that cell would be pointing the opposite direction. So every biological molecule points one way or the other. It has a physical conformation in space, and there are two possible conformations for every molecule. And life is very particular about what direction all our molecules point. There is one conformation that all life uses, and it's possible to imagine making a cell where all molecules point the exactly opposite direction. That's why we call it mirror life, because it would be like a molecule that looks at itself in a mirror.
You told the New York Times this is inherently incredibly cool, this idea. What is cool about it to you?
It's cool because it would create a second tree of life, all life that exists on Earth. It's cool because it would create a second tree of life, all life that exists on Earth. It's cool because it would create a second tree of life. All life that exists on Earth right now came from the same roots, came from the same tree of life. It's all related. And if we were able to make mirror life, we would be able to literally build or grow a second tree of life. It would be one of the biggest scientific discoveries you can ever think of. It's creating another life form.
Why would somebody want to do that?
Because we wanted to do that for the same reasons why we don't want to do it right now. So we thought that it would be a great medicine. We thought that because immune system wouldn't freak out about it, we would be able to make cell-based therapeutics that would not create adverse immune response. And we also could use it for biomanufacturing. We could use it to make molecules with biology in bioreactors that are not susceptible to external contaminations, because we thought that it would be orthogonal to viruses, to predators. And these are exactly the reasons why now we understand we shouldn't be making it, because it wouldn't only be silent to immune system when we want it, it would always be silent to immune system. So it could be a pathogen that we couldn't fight. And it could also be, if released into the environment, it could just grow. Predators wouldn't care about it, viruses wouldn't care about it, so it would grow uncontrollably.
Because it doesn't exist in the natural world.
It would grow uncontrollably.
Because it doesn't exist in the natural world.
Can you describe its form?
No.
Start from the beginning.
Here. Your husband's here.
Let me see him.
He's extremely ill.
You have to tell me where he was, what he was doing.
It was his decision to go in. It's something they termed the shimmer. We've sent in drones and teams of people, but nothing comes back.
But something has.
You're a biologist. You served in the military.
If I knew what happened, I could save his life.
The boundary's getting bigger, it's expanding. We're talking cities, states.
You need to know what's inside. So do I. It's beautiful. Check this out. It's like they're stuck in a continuous mutation.
Anything interesting in there? No. Sharks have teeth like that. It's not possible. You can't crossbreed different species. What is it?
The soldiers on the last expedition.
They went crazy, or something in here killed them. Something's come through the fence.
Through the fence?
We have to go back.
I can't go back. We can camp here tonight. It's destroying everything.
It's not destroying. It's making something new.
It would grow uncontrollably.
Because it doesn't exist in the natural world.
Yes, and the natural world doesn't know about it because everything in the natural world relies on this concept of molecules pointing the right way. Everything you sense with your molecular sensors, with your receptors on your cells, has to be of the right conformation, has to point the right way to be detected. And if it's pointing the wrong way, it just won't be detected.
So the worst case scenario about this, I mean, it does sound like some sort of doomsday scenario, is that it could end all life on Earth. Is that correct?
It would take over all life on Earth. It would grow uncontrollably. It would grow persistently, and we would have no way of eating it, fighting it in the environment.
So the worst case scenario about this, I mean, it does sound like some sort of doomsday scenario, is that it could end all life on Earth. Is that correct?
It would take over all life on Earth. It would grow uncontrollably. It would grow persistently, and we would have no way of eating it, fighting it in the environment.
So the worst case scenario about this, I mean, it does sound like some sort of doomsday scenario, is that it could end all life on Earth. Is that correct?
It would take over all life on Earth. It would grow uncontrollably. It would grow persistently, and we would have no way of eating it, fighting it.
Hai mai sognato una versione migliore di te? Più bella, più giovane, più perfetta. Una sola iniezione sblocca il tuo DNA, che produrrà un'altra versione di te. Tutto questo è... Non puoi scappare da te stessa.
C'è stato un leggero uso improprio della sostanza.
Questo equilibrio non sta funzionando!
Puoi fermare.
Sto bene. Va tutto bene.
Tu devi darti una regolata! Grassa! Schifosa!
Il pubblico impazzirà.
Have you ever dreamt of a better version of yourself? Younger, more beautiful, more perfect. One single injection unlocks your DNA, starting a new cellular division that will release another version of yourself. You are the Matrix. Everything comes from you, and everything is you. This is simply a better version of yourself. You just have to share. 1 week for one, and 1 week for the other. A perfect balance of 7 days each. The one and only thing not to forget. You are one. You can't escape from yourself. Yes.
Hello. I'd like to order.
Yes.
Yes, hi. There's been a slight misuse of the substance. A few extra hours were accidentally used, causing an alteration. I don't know what she was thinking. And obviously, she was drunk.
Remember, there is no she and you. You are one. Respect the balance, and you won't have any more inconveniences.
She didn't respect the balance. She's stealing more and more time from me, completely without consideration to the consequences. She's a selfish bitch!
Would you like to stop?
Stop.
You are the Matrix. If you are not satisfied, you can put an end to the experience and go back to being just you, on your own. Would you like to stop?
No. I can't stop.